we have already discussed about mathematical probability and statistical probability. So now in this video we will be discussing about axiomatic probability. Now the modern probability is actually based on axiomatic probability, because there are some drawbacks in mathematical probability as well as statistical probability which is overcome by using axiomatic probability. Now given any sample space of any random experiment, the probability of the occurrence of any event A is defined as the set of function P of A. Only if it satisfies the following conditions, then we can write probability of A is number of favorable cases to A upon total number of sample spaces. But the first thing is it has to satisfy this given axioms. The first one is probability of A is defined, it has to be real and non-negative. Okay. So whatever probability of A we have, it has to be real as well as non-negative. That is, given probability of A, it has to be always greater than or equals to 0. It is also called as a axiom of non-negativity. Next, probability of S, that is sample space, has to be equals to 1. It is called as a axiom of certainty. So whenever you are adding all this probability, the total probability of all the sample spaces, it has to be equals to 1. Then third one, if A1, A2 till An is any finite or infinite sequence of disjoint events of S. S is a sample space, and suppose these are the disjoint event of this particular sample space, then probability of union of all these events can be written as summation of probability of each event, right? Then only if it satisfies all these three axioms, then only we can write probability of A as number of favorable cases to A upon number of sample spaces. Now again we can find probability of any given event using particularly this formula, but the problem is, suppose you are tossing coin 4 times, 5 times, or if you are tossing a die 3 times, 4 times. Okay, if you are tossing a die 3 times, sample space is going to be 6 raised to power 3. If you are tossing it 5 times, it is going to be 6 raised to power 5. It is little bit inconvenient for us to write each and every sample space and then find the favorable cases. Now for such cases, to deal with such cases, we have something called as a multiplication theorem of probability and addition theorem of probability. So using these theorems, we will be solving problems without listing out each and every possible case. So it is little bit convenient for us without. So using this theorem, we will be dealing with problems without actually listing out all these sample space or all the favorable cases. Addition theorem of probability. The probability of occurrence of at least one of the two events A and B is given by probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. So whenever we have to find a probability of at least one of the two events, okay, either this or that, then we are going to use this. So let us prove this first. Let us assume that a random experiment results in sample space S with n sample points. Okay. So here we have two cases. The first case is the events A and B are mutually disjoint or independent. Okay. So case 1, events A and B are mutually disjoint. Okay. So whenever they are mutually disjoint, the intersection will be empty. A intersection B is going to be empty. Let us draw Venn diagram for this first. This is A, set A and set B. Intersection will be empty because they are mutually disjoint set. So, what will be probability of A union B? It is nothing but favorable cases for A union B upon total number of sample spaces, right. So, now we can write this A union B as number of elements in A, it is all the elements in A plus number of elements in B upon number of sample spaces. So, addition of this plus this, because we need to find probability of at least one of the events, either this or this. So, we can write this as number of elements in A upon n plus number of elements in B upon n, okay, which can be further written as probability of A as favorable cases of A upon total number of sample spaces is nothing but probability of A plus probability of B. Now, since intersection is empty, it does not make any difference if we are adding minus probability of A intersection B, because anyways it is going to be empty. Or we can even write this as probability of A union B is probability of A plus probability of B when A and B are mutually disjoint, okay. So, this is the case when we have events A and B mutually disjoint. What if they are not disjoint? What if they are dependent on each other, they are not independent, okay. So, in such cases whenever they are not disjoint, second case, so their intersection is not going to be empty. So, they will, so this is set A, set B, so intersection is not going to be empty. So, again same, what will be probability of A union B, that is occurrence of any one event, it is going to be number of favorable cases for either A or B upon total number of sample spaces. Now, in this case you can write this as number of favorable cases for A, that is this, plus number of cases for B. But now, while adding this A, well, this is A intersection B part. Now, while adding this A, I am taking this entire circle A. So, basically I am taking this part also, A intersection B. But while adding B, again I am taking this middle part, this intersection part second time. But we are just looking for number of elements in A union B, that is favorable cases for A union B. So, what we can do is we can just subtract it once, so that we can have it only one time. So, basically we are adding this, adding B, and we are subtracting this once, so that we can have it only one time, okay, upon number of sample spaces. So, this can be written as number of events in A upon sample space plus number of elements in B upon sample space minus A intersection B upon sample space, which is nothing but probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B, which is probability of A union B. This is nothing but our addition theorem.